So how did everyone get so stressed out? Sitting in this hammock in nature, um, I thought this would be a great time to talk about this topic because after I was backpacking and staying in different places, staying in the jungle and on beaches, I went back to America for the summer. And what stood out to me the most was how stressful it really was. Like, not to me per se, but just how stressed out everyone was. Like, if people had to sit too long at a stop sign, it was like you could feel the tension. You could feel their nervous system was, ramping up. If one thing got out of line, or one, any sort of inconvenience, it seemed like was people were very quick to just lose it. And I even noticed that about the the expats here in the country I'm living in. You can always spot the foreigners because they'll be so like and like one inconvenience, and they'll just like, you can see it. You see I call it the western gaze, or the western trigger, or whatever. um and I think about it, I'm like, when's the last time I actually like got like mad, like actually like, you know I noticed myself like, and I haven't. I don't know if this place has kind of rubbed off on me, but the tranquil bliss. But getting back on topic, when I came back here, I could see the contrast. I could feel the contrast. It was very much night and day. And so what I want to talk about is, why is America like that? And if you are from a Western country, like, I can relate. My country's like that too. Maybe you're from Canada, maybe you're from, Australia, and you can relate. And go ahead and smash the like button and comment below your experience. But I'm going to be speaking about America. The reason it's like this is because America has become essentially a machine of productivity. The systems there are so brilliantly designed. And that was one thing about traveling, specifically where I'm at, where I'm realizing that this place sometimes isn't as efficient in certain areas. And if you look at it from a Western perspective, that can be annoying. But if you realize, oh, they don't worship money here, you realize that's kind of a beautiful thing, that they don't place such an emphasis on efficiency and productivity. Now, it can lead a country to be very successful, and it can lead to immense productivity, but at the expense of the citizen's soul. And that's exactly what we're seeing in America, is we're seeing people have traded their souls for more or less money, more or less clout. And when you are in a place of, it's really it's a terminal crony capitalism, where at one point trading your soul for money, or trading your soul for the American dream, it was a good deal. It was a decent, I wouldn't say it was a good deal, but it was a much better deal than what it is now, right? You have a house, raise a family, you maybe buy a couple of vacation homes. Definitely was cheaper back then. You had all the upwards momentum of the 70s. Stock market was just about to start a 2030, a big boom cycle. Still booming, and so it was much easier, right? It was like, yeah, I kind of got to trade my soul. I got to work for a company. I kind of got to do this. But what do I get out of it? Well, I get kids. I get a wife. I get a house. I get to live a good life. I get to live a really comfortable life. So it was worth it. It was worth it to kind of sell yourself to the machine. But now, what do you get? You don't really get anything. Like, you're definitely not getting a wife. You're not going to you can't afford kids. A house, what, $500,000 house at 7% interest? You're never going to pay it off. You got to make $124,000 just to kind of keep up with middle class. So where is the incentive? And I think when you put people in this position where you have to you really have to sell your soul just to exist, right? People are living paycheck to paycheck in America, right? And they have to sell your soul, but you don't really get anything out of it. That affects people. It affects people to a point to where, like, you can feel the frustration. You can feel that, especially people who've obeyed the rules. They went to school. They they humped their credit score. They got that number up. They got all the numbers up, and they're just like, what's the point? Like, where is the light at the end of the tunnel? And you can feel that. Like, you can feel people in this sort of like despair. You feel it in their nervous system. You can feel it. They're like, everyone hates their job, but you can't really say you hate your job. You can be like, I hate my job, because that's being too honest. People in America, they like to wear masks. They like to pretend. You come out and say, I hate my job. Well, right? Your honesty kind of threatens someone else's illusions. They don't really say it like that. They say, well, I could be better, but it's not that bad, and blah blah blah. And I cope with it by going to mimosa with Becky and her brunch friends that I don't really like. And I take a vacation here and there, and maybe I'll do coke in St. Martin, and that's kind of it. but you're not feeding your soul, right? You're not getting to the core root of the problem, which is that a dream that was very easy for our ancestors has become damn near impossible. And that's what we're seeing. We're seeing people who are unable to achieve the level of sustainability that was very, very easy for even your grandparents. And I think that how that plays out is people, they fall further asleep. So men unplug and they go into video games. They maybe join a red pill community. Maybe they'll get ripped and kind of try to achieve all of that. Maybe try and earn a lot of money and go the Andrew Tate route. And women will fall deeper into feminism, and men are evil, and I don't need kids, and I'm just gonna, So everyone's just gonna kind of, I think, the people that will wake up, they will travel the world. They will find countries that sort of vibe with them a little bit more. But then, other people, they're gonna keep chasing the illusion, and they're gonna keep getting more wound tighter and tighter and tighter until they either wake up or they fall into despair. And that's exactly what we're seeing. That's why mental health crisis is on a rise in America. That's why a lot of younger people are turning to religion, right? We're seeing a rise in people turning to religions like Christianity, because they're desperate. They're looking for some sort of hope and some sort of answers, because society just has not been able to give it to them. Churches in America have completely failed. They've allowed themselves to be turned into just a TED Talk, a non-denominational TED Talk, good music, good lighting. People don't want that, man. It's just more theater. It's just more theatrics. People are over the fake. And people are starving for real community. They're starving for real connection. They're starving for substance. They're starving for real. And until you unplug from the pressure cooker of America, you don't see it in the contrast. Like, being over here, literally just like vibing in a hammock and just resting, I can definitely see the contrast. Like whenever I go to America, I just feel the tension. I'm like, I feel the collective nervous systems vibrating at a very unhealthy level. And I'm like, ooh, man, whew. To me, it feels tense. It feels like something's about to snap. Like everyone's about to just go at it, Hope it doesn't happen. But that's what it feels like. Anyway, if you got something out of this video, if you feel the same thing, comment below. Share this video with a friend. It really helps the algorithm to get this video out to other people. Because if you feel like that, if there's people that feel like that, I'm saying you don't need to feel alone, because I felt like that. That's why I left my country, because I didn't vibe with it anymore. I didn't. I felt like I was trying to live a life. I wanted to live a life more intentional, more filled with presence, and just finding happiness in the small things, like laying on a hammock in the middle of a jungle, which is where we're filming. So anyway, maybe that'll inspire someone else to be like, hey, maybe I should go try that, and that'll help, wake them up. But anyway, I'll talk to you later. Thank you so much. Take care.